The marriage was always tough, but COVID made it a lot tougher.
Even though the marriage is in a weird place, we don't fight much. We argue a tiny bit. It lasts maybe 15 to 30 seconds.
David tells people we don't argue, but it's just because I don't argue back. My husband is controlling, but I let him get away with it. I'm afraid to tell what I really think because my husband could be listening.
Are you afraid now?
He's in the other room thing, so yeah, if my husband heard me, he would run in here and shut it down and yell and say, "How dare you, you stupid blah, 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 blah." I live in fear unless my husband is on his medical marijuana. In the morning, kind of get scared and wait until it kicks in. Very early on in our marriage, he took a white glove and put it on and went up to the top of the ceiling and put his finger up there and looked at me and said, "What's this?" And I went, "Oops, I missed." He'll take my phone away and hide it on me because, he doesn't want anybody to know that our marriage is bad.
My wife thinks that I am controlling at times, but she does also tell me that I'm getting better.
If I go to the store, I have to tell him which stores I want to go to, and then I kind of got to give him a timeline. He's got it in his head how much time it's going to be. If I don't come home, "Where you been?" It's like, "Oops, sorry."
We had discussed separating, and we figured out that why do that? It would be more work than it would be to stay together.
Dr. Phil says you better pick your battles. In this house, there's a lot of that going on.
It sounds like you two have not met. David, you describe it one way. Denise, you describe it completely different. It's like you guys are married, but not to each other. How is it that you have such a different perspective on this?
Prior to COVID, things were moving along, and then now it's hard to even go through day-to-day life with your normal routine. Normal is out the window.
Right. It certainly has changed things for a lot of people in America. But Denise, these problems didn't just start with COVID. They just got worse with COVID, right?
Oh, no. There was red flags from the beginning.
Yeah. And you say that David is extremely controlling and very cold.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And when you say he's controlling, describe what you mean.
He would tell me who I can talk to. I can't. Just recently, I got in contact with my sister Sue, and he told me no, that I shouldn't talk to her. He'll take my phone and hide it for days if I do anything wrong.
Mental health,
What's that, David?
Mental health issues in the past, in the last few months, have led me to be overprotective. And
yeah, that 911 call that morning, what'd you call me? You called me a stupid bitch, this and that, and I called 911, and the guy, you Baker acted me and said I tried to commit suicide. It didn't happen.
Oh, I didn't do it.
You did it.
Let's take another look at how Denise was actually afraid to talk to our segment producer with David nearby. Take a look at this.
I'm afraid to tell what I really think because my husband could be listening.
Are you afraid now?
He's in the other room thing, so yeah. If my husband heard me, he would run in here and shut it down and yell and say, "How dare you, you stupid blah, 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 blah."
Okay, David, she's saying that she is afraid that you're going to overhear what she's saying and come in and just shut the conversation down. Is that true? Are you so controlling that she can't speak her mind without you shutting it down?
I have in the past, yes.
Well,
every day.
Why?
Well,
I can't talk.
Yeah, I mean, there are these theories that she has over her, sister and her and other family that I have to be careful of, especially with the bipolar. If there's an episode.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you a mental health professional?
He thinks he is.
No.
You even interrupted the video she was making to submit as a potential guest for the show. Let's take a look at this.
Last night it took about 2 hours to get her to do the homework, and it was a fight. And this morning was a fight just to get her to school. Every day it's a struggle, and I could really know where to take her.
Hi, Dr. Phil. Hi. This is David. We are in a position right now where we don't know what to do next.
What are you doing? This is her submission tape. You don't even let her finish the sentence. You come in and hijack the tape.
I thought it was a YouTube video that she was doing.
Oh, you did not. You knew it was a submission video.
For a recording.
You thought it was a YouTube video, so you came in and said, "Hi, Dr. Phil"?
Yes, I did.
What the hell's that got to do with YouTube?
David was always controlling. After the first child was born, I had to tell him where I was going, how I was doing things. If I didn't sleep a certain way, he would yell at me. He decides what we want to watch on TV. He'll tell me how the dishes are not right in the dishwasher. He wanted them all aligned up a certain way, 4 on one side and 4 on the other side, because it won't operate right. It's been a really rough marriage, the whole 12 years. And our marriage would be like a roller coaster. We'd go up sometimes and back down. It was never like perfect.
Denise says her husband, David, controls every aspect of her life and constantly argues with her in front of their children. Now, she says the fighting is so bad, it's causing her autistic daughter to have constant meltdowns. Now, David agrees that their 10-year-old daughter is acting out, but doesn't think it's because of fighting in the house.
Our oldest daughter has autism.
You're so upset!
And that can be very challenging, even on the best days. But with COVID, it's on another level.
She cannot even think straight. She screams and hollers.
All my apples are autistic in the ham!
David yells a lot in front of the kids. That makes the meltdowns a lot worse. And then it takes forever to bring her back down.
Because my teacher only lets me do non-fiction! Non-fiction!
Yeah.
Books! And I'm getting tired of it!
Some of the meltdowns last, just a few minutes, and others can last through the night.
This is what I'm at! When I use you! And it's
Explain it to me.
Having a daughter who has autism and a 6-year-old has been extremely hard.
Anything can trigger a meltdown, which has made it that much more difficult to have any sort of peace.
She's having a meltdown. We all are like, please stop.
Oh, yes, it did!
There's screaming, stomping, gritting of the teeth. I have asked my wife to pay more attention to me. It feels like a competition every day, trying to win the favor of my wife over our 2 young daughters.
And Denise, you say your daughters protect you from David. How so?
Yes, they do. When David yelled at me the other day, Isabella went and stood up for me.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, you will not talk to mom like that.
Okay, now
You need to think about what you say.
let me ask something. Now, you guys are both alcoholics, right?
Yes, I'm an alcoholic. David doesn't believe in that.
David, you're not an alcoholic?
Not right now.
Not right now. But were you at one point?
Yes.
Okay, and you met at an AA meeting?
Yes.
And that's 12 years ago?
Correct, Dr. Phil.
But you've both been sober now for 4 months?
Going on 5. Another 3 days.
Okay, so 5 months. So that's not a long time out of 12 years. I'm glad you're sober for 5 months. Every day counts, and I certainly am glad to hear that. But you would like to go to AA meetings, Denise, correct?
Yes, I would. I had 4 years clean before I relapsed.
Why do you not go to AA meetings?
Because David says he doesn't like the way it's set up, and he says that it's a cult, and I don't need it.
Why do you need David's permission?
I need his permission for everything.
Why?
He has broken me down pretty bad, where I used to have a lot of self-confidence, and now it's been over the years, And now he's the boss. He's the king of the house. So I have to get permission from the boss.
Well,
you're the boss.
No, I'm not.
well,
And
here's
you know
what,
that.
according to Denise, here's what David says Denise does wrong. He says, you don't load the dishwasher right, you don't buy groceries right, you don't clean right, you don't get sober right, you don't sleep in the right position. David, what is the right position for her to sleep in?
You got me, Dr. Phil. Whatever is comfortable for her.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to get out of bed once I get there.
I had issue with the fan. Yeah, with the fan, the frequency and
it has to be your way.
Yeah, it can't be blowing just right on.
David is cold and controlling. David does not want my sister to have any kind of connection outside of the household. Because of that, Denise is overwhelmed, depressed, and very anxious. He believes when somebody else is involved in her life, he won't have control over her. I have not seen my sister in 6 years. David has prevented that. 5 years ago was my wedding day. Denise called me a couple days before and canceled, gave me no reason why. David obviously influenced my sister, and that's why they didn't come. We didn't talk for a couple years after that. They just didn't want to be part of my life. I noticed David got more controlling after they got married. It keeps getting worse and worse. One day he's buying her flowers, she's all happy. And the next minute she'll have to text me from the bathroom so he doesn't take her phone away. 1 minute she's telling me how much she loves him, and then all of a sudden I hear she wants to run away with the girls. According to Denise, they are fighting every day. I'm worried about my nieces. They deserve to live in a good environment where they don't have to listen to arguing and fighting every day. I've been getting emails this past week from Denise. I sent her one saying, hope you are doing well. I got an email later saying, I can't talk to you. He won't let me. Of course I'm angry, but there is nothing I can do. My sister has to learn to stand up for herself. I can just look at the picture of my sister and tell she is not happy. I see the sadness in her eyes. She looks like a battered woman that's been battered verbally, but not physically.
Do you and Denise have an active relationship now, or has that been shut down?
No, our relationship has been shut down for a very long time. David does control her action. She's not allowed to have any connection. It's ridiculous why I can't have a relationship with my sister.
So is he threatened by your presence? I mean, does that strengthen her if you're there?
I think he's threatened by me because I reached out to help her, and by me reaching out, that takes his control away.
Well, David, have you decided two things? One, that your wife is mentally and emotionally ill and has to be managed as though she is impaired. And question number two, have you decided, just however politically correct or incorrect it may sound, that you're just the smartest person in the room, and so you should decide what needs to be done?
Well, to the first question, I became her guardian advocate through the court because someone else is going to do it, and I had to step in.
You're telling me you have her under a conservatorship?
It was for a short time, only while she was in the hospital.
I said, let me have someone else to talk to. I need a lawyer, and
they couldn't tell me anything until I
wanted someone else to talk to. I did not want you as my guardian. You were abusive when I went in there. What happened when I called 911 that day? You screamed at me and told me I was going to sit my ass on the couch and I'm not moving for the whole frickin' day. And I left and I called 911 in my pajamas. That's what happened. And then you Baker acted me.
I did the best I could with the situation.
Oh, you're trying to control me. Every single thing I do, you try to control me. What I eat, what I say.
If you think she requires a conservatorship, that you just know best, so you're going to make the decisions. You're the smartest person in the room.
Oh, no, Dr. Phil. It was nearly out of necessity.
Okay, is that necessity passed?
Yes.
Then why do you still control her going to the store, what she does with her phone, whether she talks to her sister?
I'm stuck, Dr. Phil. I don't know what else to do.
About 2 years ago, I had to go to a domestic violence shelter. I escaped with my girls and we stayed there for 6 weeks. I was scared. We were just bawling constantly. I never worried that David's gonna get physical with me, but we just had enough of him getting in our faces and screaming at us.
I've asked Robin to join me here because she works an awful lot with women that are stuck in situations like this, and in my opinion is one of the foremost ambassadors fighting against domestic violence, sexual assault, and has a foundation, When Georgia Smiled, the Robin McGraw and Dr. Phil Foundation. Denise, I understand that you admire Robin greatly, actually.
Oh my gosh, I love her. Hi, Robin.
Hi. Hi, Denise.
I love you. I read your book inside my heart.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very nice to be with you today, right now. Thank you.
Robin, you've been sitting watching this whole thing, and you and I talked about this at length as I've been preparing for the show over the last several days. You've been very concerned about Denise and her shrinking and losing herself in this relationship. What do you think now that you meet her, David, and her sister Sue, who's very concerned?
Yes. Well, first of all, hello, David. Hello, Sue. And Denise, yes, I have. I visited with Philip, so I'm thrilled to be able to sit here with you right now. I've been sitting through the show, and my heart is so heavy for you. And one thing I did notice when you got to see your sister Sue, the smile that came on your face, because it must be, yes, the first time you've seen her in such a long time, and then immediately the sadness that came over your face, because it really broke my heart, because it's horrible that it's been 6 or 7 years since you've been able to actually see your sister or even visit with your sister. I think that's devastating. You are under the control of this man, and that's a shame. He's controlling every aspect of your life. He has you in isolation. He's isolated you from your sister, from your family, from your friends, from AA, the most valuable aspect of your life right now, for you to be going to an AA meeting and he won't let you do that. What a benefit that would be to you and to your children. And he won't let you do that. I'm sorry for that. He's isolated you from going to get a job, to bring money into the house, which is something you need right now. And he's isolated you from having your own life. He's taken your power away. And I'm sorry for that. What I want to say to you right now is it's time for you to take your power back. Because I can tell you are a strong woman. You do know what it's like to have control of yourself, to have control of your life. You're a very loving mother. I've seen it in the photographs. I've seen it in the videos that we've seen today. Your children love you dearly. I've seen you with your arms wrapped around your daughter.
So what do you think about what she's saying, Denise?
Oh, I love Robin. She's right on there.
What do you think, David? What do you think about what Robin is saying?
It's true.
Well, you know, I actually built a little graphic of I went through and made a list of what it's cost you, Denise, to be in this marriage. It's cost you your sister relationship, your self-worth, confidence, independence, social life, your oldest son relationship, money, career, sobriety, purpose, dignity, your voice, a stable home, mental health, your children's peace of mind, happiness, physical health. You know, I've been married for 44 years. I've got a partner. I got a partner here that's by my side every day. You know, they say behind every successful man is a strong woman. That's not true. Beside every successful man.
Yeah.
She's right at my side. And let me tell you, she's a partner every step of the way. This is your third marriage, David, correct?
Yes, it is, Dr. Phil.
Well, you know, it's time to say what's the common denominator to these failed marriages here. I want to introduce someone to this conversation, Lynette Coffany Cox. Now, she is a personal finance expert, CEO of themoneycoach.net, and author of numerous books, including the New York Times bestseller, Zero Debt. the ultimate guide to financial freedom. She says David and Denise are in denial if they think COVID caused their financial problems. Welcome back. It's been a while since we've talked, and I'm glad to see you. How are you doing?
Thank you, Dr. Phil. I'm doing great. I'm sorry that Denise and David are not doing so great. And as you just mentioned, clearly this is not a COVID problem. Of course, everybody's kind of stressed out about COVID, and it has put strain on a lot of relationships. But this has been going on for years.
They're $250,000 in debt right now. They say they're in a money pit. Neither one of them are bringing money in. They've got some disability from the military with David here, but we've got 2 college graduates here. They're employable.
That's absolutely the case, because obviously in a 2-income household, you're going to have greater stability than if one person was just working. And again, David, by his own commentary, has said the initial part of him launching the business didn't work because of COVID. Well, again, if he would have maybe asked for his wife's input or help or some partnership, at some level, maybe she would have talked to him, and I don't know if she has, about some other sources of assistance that he could have gotten. For example, he might have been eligible for unemployment benefits. One of the features of the legislation that got passed earlier by Congress to help deal with the economic fallout of the COVID-19 outbreak is to make entrepreneurs also eligible for unemployment benefits. And for couples like this, what I suggest is kind of a 3-pronged strategy. I call it disclose, discuss, and decide. Disclose is about coming clean about everything. I still haven't fully heard from David, like, why is he so controlling, and why does he feel the need to tamp down on every single thing that she wants or needs to do? So they need to kind of, talk through some of those issues. I would tend to think that there's probably, if there's personal secrets, like she had to secretly email her sister, I would tend to think there's probably financial secrets in the relationship as well. He may have secret accounts, secret, money stash, etc., any other thing that she doesn't necessarily know about. But you need to both come clean and disclose everything. Then you need to discuss, like, what is the game plan going forward? How do we get in alignment and get on the same page? You're partners. If you want to keep this marriage strong, you have to row in the same direction and not be at odds with one another. And then finally, you have to decide, like, what are our priorities? What is the best path forward? If the best path forward is for her to get a job, let her get a job. Let her bring income into the household and help to support the family financially.
You are an intelligent, educated woman, and you owe it to your children to stand up and be a good role model for them, where you're proud of yourself, you're proud of what you're doing. And David is either going to cooperate in you finding that power, or he's not. You deserve better than that. And David, you've got to make a decision that if there is someone in this relationship that has mental and emotional problems, it's probably you, with a need to control for fear of losing those around you. This is very unhealthy. Listen, we're in a pandemic. I will arrange immediately for 10 sessions for you with a doctor-on-demand therapist, so you can do it on the computer so you don't have to put yourself at risk. And I'll do it for both of you so you can get some professional help. All right, we're out of time. If you at home want to have your own Doctor On Demand, go to Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and download Doctor On Demand app. That's our company. I'd like to thank all of my guests today, and a very special thanks to Robin for weighing in, and to Money Coach Lynette Coffany Cox. Thank you so much, Lynette. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. I'll be talking about this on Facebook. We also chat about it on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to Robin's podcast. I've got a secret. She has a lot of hot topics to share with you. No topic is off limits. Some recent ones include the secret to motherhood and the secret to hair transformation. Had to go to hair, didn't you?
I had to.
We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
She claims her husband controls her every move.
Every single thing I do, what I eat, what I say.
Why did you hijack her submission video to me? You shut it down so you could control the content.
Next, Dr. Phil. Check your local listings.